Woodworks, where Robin and Metropolitan guitars are made. And with us is Dave Wintz, who's been in the guitar business for over 30 years. Hi, Dave.
How you doing?
I'm good. What made you decide to be a guitar maker?
Well, actually, I got started fooling around with repairing guitars and playing guitars, of course, since I was a young teenager. But as I got a little bit older, I just started working on them more and fooling with them more, and the next thing I knew, I was just incredibly involved in it. I didn't have another job, and almost a couple of years later, I realized that I was in the business.
What kind of guitars do you make?
We make solid body and hollow body electric guitars, kind of like this right here. Mostly for rock and roll, blues, jazz, and that sort of thing.
What are the steps involved?
There's a lot of steps, an incredible amount, actually. I think probably the best thing we can do is go out into the shop, and I'll give you a tour and show you how it all happens. This is a wood storage room, which mainly stores neck wood, fingerboard wood, and curly and quilted maple tops for guitars.
What's the best type of wood?
Guitar wood is basically hardwood. It's not pine or fir, any type of woods that are used for building homes. So this is a planer, and what it does is it takes some wood like this. This is what we call a body blank. And you can see it's still rough. It's been cut to length on the other large cutoff saw. You run this through the machine here. It's going to smooth out one side. You're going to flip it over and smooth out the other side down to the final thickness of the guitar.
Mathematics is the base from which all music is created.
Okay, what we've got here, Melody, is the bandsaw where he's going to cut the body blank to shape. The line has been drawn with the pattern. He's going to cut as close as he can or right on the line. So
what happens if there's a mistake that's made?
Like if he cuts too far or something?
Yeah.
Oh, we just grab another one and try again.
And start all over again. Is it ready?
Ready to go?
Is there a certain type of guitar that would be good for beginners to buy?
Yes, a cheap one. See how it's cutting off just a little bit. There it is, check it out.
Yeah. It's my axe. Now, am I holding it right? This way. This way. Okay.
It's a jam, baby.
Yeah.
Now that he's just made this cut here, what actually comes next is some more hole drilling for the electronics here, some cavity cutting for the neck placement, switch cavity, some more holes over here. On the back side, we're going to come back around and cut the scoop on the back. We're going to cut rear electronic cavities.
You know what, Dave? This kind of looks like the United States, kind of.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You got.
Is that intentional?
Actually, this guitar body style is nicknamed the map guitar. Normally, a right-handed player would play it like this, but if you're left-handed,
oh, okay.
There you go.
When is the neck finally put on the body?
Well, let's take a look at how the necks are made and follow that through, and then we'll come back and we'll meet them up with these bodies we have, and we'll put them together.
Do you make guitars for kids?
Directly, no, but I think that everyone that plays guitar, has that thrill that kids get.
Are some guitars louder than others?
Slightly, but mostly that's with the amplifier.
Are some guitars bigger than others?
Different stylings, visual stylings, and some people like a bigger or heavier guitar, and it can affect the tone also.
Do you play the guitar?
I've played the guitar for many years. I don't play really actively right now, but I suppose I could whip it out if I had to. Basically, you start with one solid piece of mahogany in this case, pretty much just a rough piece of wood. You cut down kind of into shape. It's still very square. We kind of cut the shape out here. We glued on what we call headstock wings here to broaden the top portion of the guitar. It's all sanded smooth. The channel is cut here for the truss rod. Now, a truss rod is a piece of steel that's adjustable that goes inside the neck. A peghead veneer of some nature is glued on. Still, everything else is running the same here. The peghead has been rough cut to shape. We take fingerboards, in this case, an Indian rosewood fingerboards. We'll install binding on the fingerboard, come back and sand all that stuff flush, then come back and actually cut fully around the perimeter of the neck again. After that, the back of the neck is sanded.
What are these metal rods here?
These are called the frets, and this is what creates a mathematical scale here. This is what creates the different pitches on the string as you move up the neck. And as you fret them or depress the string there, it changes the length between here and the bridge area, and it changes the pitch. And that's how all the different musical notes are made on the guitar.
Luthier is a French word that means maker of stringed instruments.
This neck will actually fit into the body here, like so.
Would you ever use different wood for the body and the neck?
Yeah, as
Is
a
it
matter of
always
fact,
the same?
this is African Fakimba right here. The neck is Honduras mahogany. The fingerboard is Indian rosewood. Really from stuff from all around the world.
You need different guitars for different kinds of music?
Technically, you can play pretty much any type of music on any guitar. However, some lend themselves more to one style than other ones do.
Do a lot of people make guitars?
There are a fair amount of guitar companies in America and quite a few throughout the world. Sometimes they're small independent builders building a few guitars a month.
Can you make guitars in any shape or color?
Pretty much, yeah, we can do that. I mean, the body shapes are easily manipulated. We can move electronics around. We can paint guitars white, blacks, or we can paint your dog on the guitar if you want.
What's the best kind of guitar?
Mine.
So when do we put the strings on it and play it and, you know, what?
Put all the stuff in there. and
Yeah.
everything. Well, before we do that, we've got to paint it. And he's applying clear coats to it to protect the color that's already on there. The coat will start drying within 20 minutes. And each time he's going to put about 7 coats on each instrument.
Now, is there a special kind of paint used on guitars, or is it the same kind for cars or for homes?
There's lacquers and urethanes and esters, and we use a little bit of all of them.
And so how long will it take for all the coats to dry and for us to be able to handle
We dry for a week.
guitar? A week?
Okay, what we've got going here is the wet sanding after the finish. The finish goes on smooth and glossy, but it's not quite perfectly level. We've got to get it back down to level so that when we polish it out, it looks like a mirror finish. To do a full-body guitar like this takes an hour, hour and a half to completely finish, sometimes even more. It requires a certain amount of skill because if you're not careful, you'll burn through the finish, and if you do that, you're back to square one.
So what comes after the wet sanding?
Buffing.
The world's first known guitars were made in Egypt over 1,600 years ago.
So he'll go through the body and the neck for this?
Yeah, he'll go through the front of the body, the sides, all up and down the neck, the headpiece. The entire guitar will be buffed. You got to be careful though when you're doing this because that buffer doesn't stop for nobody. And if you hook it in wrong, it's going to grab the guitar and throw it on the ground and break it.
So how long does this process take?
This is about half an hour for a skilled person. Highlight the frets with a marker, and we're going to come back in here and we're going to level them all out. Once the frets are leveled, then they're polished, the fingerboard is oiled, and it goes into assembly where the strings, machine heads, hardware, electronics, and everything are installed.
How did you learn to make guitars?
I got into the guitar thing back in '72, basically as a repair person, kind of a restoring, and a vintage instrument dealer.
What skills are important if you want to be a guitar manufacturer?
Number one skill probably is, it's not even the skill, you need ambition. You need to be just really into it. You need to be excited about it. And that'll also keep you entertained while you're making a lot of mistakes, which you will do.
What kind of classes should I pay attention to?
Keep your math good. Any type of wood shop or shop classes are always great.
Are computers important?
Computers are great. Develop your computer skills. The computer has so many applications now, it's pretty much worthy in all fields. Now we're here in the assembly room where all the parts and electronics and the strings go on the instruments. And as you look around here, you're going to see a lot of screws and knobs and all types of things that really go to put the guitar together, and there's really quite an incredible number. If you're missing one of them, well, it's not going to go together. So this particular guitar that's on the bench now is having electronics and the hardware and strings put on. It was custom made for ZZ Top, for Bill Gibbons of ZZ Top. It's kind of got a cheetah graphic painted on it. Right here in the back, you can see the components inside. You've got knobs, you've got switches, the wiring going in. On the back of the headpiece there, you're going to see the machine heads back up towards the left here. And that's the gears, which on the front the strings attached to. For example, this is a pickup, which could also be known as a microphone. There's one here, and one's going to go into this section here. This will switch between the two pickups for a different sound, or in the middle it can actually have both of them together.
How does a guitar make sound?
When a guitar player hits the string of the guitar, it creates a physical signal. That is picked up by the magnetic pickup, converted to voltage really, and that is sent through the guitars, through the controls and the filters which control volume and the tone of the instrument, out through the jack, into the amplifier, which basically picks that signal up and amplifies it.
How many guitars do you make?
We probably make about 300 a year.
Girls back here.
Yeah, in fact, there are some really great female luthiers out there. There really are.
For more information, write to Guitar Foundation, P.O. Box 1240, Claremont, California, 91711 USA.
So how long from the very beginning, from whenever you get an idea, I want to make this guitar, does it take to get through all the steps to be shipped out to the owner?
Typically 30 days.
Who are some of your customers?
We've made guitars for ZZ Top, Slaughter, Jimmy Vaughn, White Zombie.
Have you made all these guitars yourself?
Not personally every one, but me and my crew, we put them all together, yeah.
So what's the difference between this guitar and that guitar?
To make it simple, I'd say this is a little more of a heavy metal design, where this is more of a traditional rock and blues type guitar.
This one looks kind of different.
You know, that's one of the nicest ones here. It's really sizable and got a lot of nice work on it. Check it out.
It is one of the